funny podcast. A really, really fun one. I feel like I say that every time. Sorry, but we got some incredible stories from people who have been rescued and also rescued other people. Also, bosses getting fired, not just firing their employees. And Liam does a funny skit about Luigi.
Previously on Ben, Liam and Bell.
Age. You touched the Pope?
The Pope picked me up.
What's he? You were a baby, I'm assuming.
Mum handed me over to the Pope and he gave me a little kiss.
You've been kissed by the Pope.
We should have done Have You Kissed the Pope?
Weird vibe, though. Yeah.
And now, live across Australia, this is Ben, Liam and Bell.
Do you feel blessed?
Honestly, not a difference.
Bugger.
Yeah, right.
On Nova.
Good evening, Australia. You are here with Ben, Liam and Bell, and ripping right into it. 13, 24, 10. Why'd the boss get fired? People get fired a fair bit, but why'd the boss get fired?
Well, normally the boss is doing the firing, right? I mean, that's sort of one of the things. You get paid a bit more, but you do have to ruin people's lives every now and then with HR in the room, of course.
13, 24, 10 is our number. If you have got a story, we have got a prize for you. The reason we ask is because there is a video going viral, and you'll understand why when you hear it. Now, the audio quality isn't great because it's somebody filming a Zoom meeting, but this is pre-Christmas party. The boss is giving a speech about what not to do. Check it out.
I take drugs myself, I just don't do it at work events, okay? That's when things get really out of hand. If you take drugs at the Christmas party, you'll be fired.
Don't say that.
I take drugs myself, but don't do it at the Christmas
I'm
party.
running I take a lot of drugs. I snort it, I smoke it, I do everything. I'm also sleeping with 8 people from our team. But what I won't be doing is doing that at the Christmas party, okay? You can do what you want in your own time.
And if you do, you'll be fired.
Yeah, it sounds like he might have done a bit of drugs that morning, I reckon. He was a bit sort of out of it.
Beck joins us now in Melbourne. Did your boss get fired?
Yeah, so my boss got fired for stealing over $30,000 worth of power tools.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was over a period of 6 months he did it, and he got marched out by the police. It was very satisfying because he was a bit of a shit boss.
Yeah, was he just like wanting to be a bit of a handyman at home with the best tools? Was he selling them?
Who knows, but it was very funny to watch.
Yeah, absolutely,
Wow.
Beck. Thank you very much for kicking us off tonight.
I mean, it's not so much boss, but my school principal got let go.
Oh, really?
Yes, the big dog. Turned out they were paying themselves almost $1 million over their salary.
What just dragging it out of the school sort of
Just
thing?
popping it into the pocket.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Everyone's like, oh, okay. Right, so that's where the tuition goes. Good.
Yeah, wow. That's a crazy story. Rob in Sydney, why did your boss get fired?
For stealing ink. I work at a printing company, and he was stealing ink up to about 30.
Sorry, Rob, you cut out a little bit. Up to 30 what?
His boss
Rob.
intervened.
His boss scrambled it. Your boss just snuck up behind him and killed him like mob style.
What's funny about Rob, though, is people would sometimes steal pens from work, which do contain ink, of course, but he was doing it on a mass scale by the sound of it.
Well, that's what they say. Black gold ink.
Yeah.
It's expensive stuff. I mean, you buy one little cartridge for your one at home, it's like $100.
Jason in Sydney, why the boss get fired?
Hey, so I work in a retail store, and the boss got fired because he decided to have relations with a partner on a pile of money, which was a week's worth of banking.
Whoa! And I get it, but I mean, you can't be doing that. So and that's just everyone's wages. I suppose all the money that was changing over hands.
Yeah,
Well,
Jason.
they say money's dirty, but I mean that's like
Jason, how did they get caught?
So they did the count, and the bags were tampered with, so the bank rejected them, and then it started an inquiry.
Oh, and they must have checked the footage, and they would have seen that.
It's so funny as well because normally when people are, getting it on a bed of money, it's like in the movies, it's like Scarface, like there's a huge cocaine operation or something. But this guy just works like Rebel Sport, and he's got the weekends taking. He's like, you want to come over and we'll just jump on top of it.
Karen in Sydney, why'd the boss get fired?
He was deported.
Oh, wow. Sent back to where?
He was an illegal immigrant,
Oh, no.
and a colleague and myself found several passports with aliases in his office one day.
Oh, that's unreal. It's like spy sort of stuff.
Whoa, maybe they were a spy.
Well, no,
Yeah, who
okay,
knows? I
that's-
mean, are you working in some sort of sector where your boss might have been trying to, spy? Are you working for ASIA or something like
Yeah.
that? Do you around government secrets? What do you do?
It was a car rental company.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he was a spy for like Hertz, and like he wanted to know what was going on at the other car rental company.
Thank
Shifty.
you very much, Karen.
Sarah in Melbourne, good evening. Now, is this the head of HR got fired?
Yes, that's correct.
What happened?
So basically, she wrote in my farewell card, "Karma is a bee. Hope you don't treat others how you treated me. You will get what's coming." to you."
Wow, she was like a badass HR.
I was nothing but nice to her. But yeah, I took it to the managing director of the company,
Yeah.
and she denied it at first. But they had camera footage of her actually writing that.
It's just so ironic. It's
It's so like she
incredible.
must have just wanted to just throw a hand grenade on her life a little bit and just be like, yeah, why not?
I
Like,
wonder if
just blow it all up, like-
I wonder if they genuinely believed that they couldn't trace it back to her, so she thought she'd do it, but then she wasn't thinking the security cameras, maybe.
Yeah, but also you've
wasn't
got
me. Someone must have just written Tracy a really brutal message as a bit of a joke. That's a great one. Amy in Sydney, this was your boss. They got fired. How long were they the boss for?
Oh, they were a boss for a fair while,
Yeah.
and they were doing this particular thing quite regularly. But yeah, they were taking money out of the safe on a Friday, going and purchasing certain substances to sell to friends, and then would put the excess money back in on a Monday, and yeah, got found out.
Oh, so they were putting the money to cover what they'd taken and then taking the side earnings.
That's right. So they were taking the profit of whatever they made from whatever they were selling.
Yeah, and I can see how that can go for a while, because if there's not a net loss and no one's noticing the money missing just for that 2 days, I know it's really bad, but you're also like,
it's not that bad.
The guy's a bit of a businessman, isn't he? I mean, he's just, he just wants a little extra cream at the end of the week.
Amy, was it CCTV or how did they get caught?
She actually had someone within the branch that was helping her, because you have to have two-sided codes, like to be able to get access to the cash. And they got the shits with her. I'd say probably didn't get a cut of it, and basically dobbed her in. So
Yes, yeah. You got to keep your enemies close, but you got to keep the crims near you even closer.
Absolutely. Amy, thank you so much.
The Ben, Liam and Bell podcast.
Everyone is crushing hard on Luigi, the guy who has been arrested in New York, suspected of assassinating the CEO of America's largest health insurance company. Me personally, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's like, it's sad because of what he's done, but he is a pretty boy. Like, he's got the brows, he's got the nose, he's got the smile, he's got the teeth, he's got the hair, he's got the body,
The
he's
blood
got
on
the
his
abs.
hands.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, like, I can see it, but I also don't.
People are making like TikTok edits of him just like lusting over this guy.
I think it's because he's a bad boy, right? He's got the
Yeah,
bad boy
I think
energy.
so, and it's a weird thing. Like, obviously, healthcare is really bad in America, but obviously, when anyone gets killed, it's not a good thing. But the general vibe seems to be, "Go off, King! You're so sexy! Like, you can't arrest him. He's too hot for prison." And for people like you, Belle, and for people all around the world, there's actually a new dating app that has just launched.
Are you tired of swiping through the same bland dating profiles?
Jason, 31, nice stable man, full-time job, dog owner, not a murderer. Cute, but boring.
Ready to ruin your life in the name of love? Introducing Criminal Connections, the world's first dating agency exclusively for people interested in dangerous offenders. These hot culprits will steal your heart and your TV. Sign up today to find your partner in crime. Literally. Meet thousands of dangerous men right now, like Luigi, 26. Hobbies include long walks in the park at night, writing manifestos, allegedly murdering human beings in cold blood, and eating McDonald's. What a heartthrob. Or if you're sick of searching for that special someone, just set your profile up, sit back and relax. On Criminal Connections, the criminals find you. And believe me, they will. It's all very dangerous, but it's exciting, right? Download Criminal Connections today. Love doesn't play by the rules, so why should you?
Look over there. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a Balrog. Oh, no, it's just Ben Lehman Bell.
13 24 10. Have you been rescued? There is an incredible story coming out of Queensland. A couple in their 50s have been rescued. Let me set the scene. So, I'm going to explain to you what happened over 3 days. There's this couple in Queensland, like I said, in their 50s. They've gone in their four-wheel drive with their 2 dogs. They're driving. They've gone to cross a river in the middle of nowhere. They're driving across. It started floating, like their car has started getting dragged down the river. It started flooding. They have tried to get out of the car, swam a bit in crocodile-infested waters, realised their 2 dogs are in the car. The guy's gone back, rescued the dogs out of the car, brought them to safety on land. They don't have their phones, they don't have their food, they don't have water. It's 40-something degree heat, and they spent 3 days in the desert with no one around, and like I said, no food, no water. Their 2 dogs were really, really injured in the car. And then there's a giant crocodile that started stalking them to attack their dogs who are weak. So they're trying to protect their dogs. No one knows that they're there. And the only way they got rescued is they wrote SOS in the sand really big.
That's it.
Whoa, like the movies.
That's
like the
pretty
movie.
good, isn't it?
It sounds like something that you would go and see a movie about. It's an incredible story. They got obviously taken straight to hospital in the chopper. They're apparently okay, but they were pretty much like, all right, this is it. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, you would be
Incredible.
getting to the point, I mean, depending on how hungry the croc is looking, you would be looking at your least favourite dog, and then the second, and then it's probably a thumb war between who goes next, because it's just, it's a survival of the fittest type
awful.
thing.
Liam.
Well, I mean, yeah, someone's got to survive.
13 24 10. Have you been rescued? We do have prizes up for grabs. Amy joins us now. Amy, you have rescued somebody else.
I did. I had to rescue my partner. So we were interstate in Queensland and we're from Melbourne. So, it was a holiday. We wanted to tan. It was nice weather, nice and warm. So I'm relaxing, tanning. And then my partner thought it was a really fun idea to not tell me where he was going. An hour's gone past. I've had no idea where he is. I've absolutely gone crazy. I've called 000. He's obviously in the helicopter with the lights on and he's thinking what is going on. And yeah, it turns out
So you're up in the helicopter. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I was hysterical. I was crying my head off.
But Amy, was he ever in any danger or he had just wandered off?
No, he wasn't. He was collecting seashells for me, thinking, oh, Amy will love these seashells.
For an hour?
For an hour, yes.
I bet all his mates, say, wow, you've got such a chill girlfriend that time you went for a walk on the beach and she called the police rescue. Are you sure you don't have to be home from the pub? Are you sure, mate? They'd stir him up, something chronic.
Yeah, less of a rescue, more of just a waste of police resources.
Yeah,
Okay, she was worried.
Amy, did you get slugged with a fine?
No, thank God. I think because I was crying like so bad and I was in a state. I was just not in a really good state.
Oh, my God. Just get her out of the helicopter. My God.
All right, 13 24 10 is our number. Have you been rescued or have you rescued somebody?
Melissa, good evening. Now, you've rescued someone.
Yeah, I rescued a friend of mine from a car park.
From a car park? What happened?
So I get this random message at like 2 a.m. saying, stuck in car park, please help. And no reception. So I'm like, what do you mean? And then I tried to get down to the car park in the lift. I couldn't get down, so I had to go from level 15 all the way down to the car park and make sure the fire doors didn't close.
Yeah,
and
right. And then they were
drunk.
Yeah, okay. And they were trapped in the just near the stairwell there.
I mean, for context, we're doing this because a couple was rescued from crocodile-infested desert and waters. But that's also, I guess, on the same level of, my mate was drunk in the car park. I'd go down and get them.
I got stuck in a stairwell one time. Yeah.
What, just...
Yeah, no, I just think it was one of those ones where it's like, you go in and then they didn't open from the inside of the stairwell. So I couldn't get out, and then I had to call my friends to come get me.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, it's definitely supposed to be the other way around, where you can definitely get out.
No, I was freaking out.
Because the whole point of it is if there's a fire, you can get out.
Yeah, if there was a fire, I would have cooked it there. Yeah, it would have been bad.
Gosh.
Thanks, Mel. Noah in Sydney, you rescued your best mate. What happened?
He was trying to learn how to use a kayak, and he was about 200 metres offshore, and he fell out of his kayak, so I just started swimming. I still had my shoes on, so I was a bit waterlogged, and I swam out there, and I didn't know how far it was. I swam all the way out there and realised I couldn't get back, so I got stuck out there as well, and then some lad on a surfboard had to come out and save both of us, and my mate ended up getting back to the beach, had water in his lungs, and they had to give him CPR on the beach when the lifeguards saw him on the side of at the beach.
Was the problem with the kayak, was it because he was stuck in it upside down or because he couldn't swim?
It was because he didn't know how to use a paddle, and he flipped the kayak and he couldn't swim.
Yeah, right. And that's what I find when I'm kayaking if I'm a first timer and I can't swim. I find 200 metres offshore at the beach is normally the best way. Just in the deep end, How else are you going to learn? You gotta just give it your best shot.
But you also got to be safe, and you got to be wary. If you can't swim, don't go out.
I mean,
he was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
There's a whiff. You might have got a hint of it there.
What he was doing was comedy.
Yeah.
There is a seminar happening this weekend. We can buy you some tickets if you'd like to attend.
Adele in Melbourne, your stepbrother was rescued?
Yes, he was. This was a long time ago. So we'd just moved into Mount Eliza. It was the very first night we moved in, and my stepbrother and my brother went up to the quarry, and they were throwing stones off the top of the quarry, and he fell over.
Whoa.
And it was like a 40-foot drop at least. And he hit his head, and he landed on a ledge, which was just a little thin ledge, and he was knocked out. Thank goodness, because he probably would have died if he didn't.
Mm.
And the SES had to come and rescue him with the helicopter and get a stretcher down to get him. And it was on the news. It was everywhere.
Wow. So you're saying like he was sort of he knocked himself out, and it was this thin little ledge. But you think, potentially if he was awake on it, he would have, maybe freaked out and fell off the ledge and then gone all the way down, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because it wasn't very wide. And because he hit his head on the way down, he was sort of out cold, and he's just landed on that. And they had to get the helicopter and get the SES to go and get him. So it was a big welcome to the neighbourhood.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything involving a helicopter normally pretty serious.
Well, look,
it was.
Does your brother like the movies?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm going to give you a double pass, and you can go with your brother or whoever you want because they're your tickets. Congrats, Adele.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Have a good night.
No worries. Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't think I've seen any of that.
Great time to catch up because there's a new one. It's out in cinemas. Only in cinemas till December 12th. Definitely worth checking it out.
Go and check it out. Hopefully you've got a spare 12 hours to watch the other ones before you see that.
You like that feeling in your ear holes? That's the Ben, Liam and Bell podcast. Oi, stop gooning. The next bit's about to start.
Hi, it's Will Smith here, and this is Ben, Liam and Bell's Pick the Flick. Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
It doesn't even really connect to anything.
Oh no,
he's a big movie star, and we paid him for a voicing session.
Doesn't
All right, I'll
anything
get
like
a new one
him.
next year. Fine, don't worry about it. Now, the way this is going to work is Louise from Melbourne joins us. How you doing, Louise?
Hey, I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I've got some movie bios in front of me. Now, you're going to be going up against Ben or Bell. When you know it, you just buzz in with your name. Now, Bell has got one in the past. Ben has got one in the past. No listener has ever won. We've only done this a couple of times. So who would you like to verse?
I'll verse Bell.
Verse Bell? Okay. Well, it is the season, so we are going to be doing Christmas movies.
Oh, right up my alley.
Okay, good.
Uh-oh.
All
Well, Louise, I mean, I do know my Christmas films as well, so game
All
on.
right, well, there's some big uns in here, so I think you would have seen all the movies. So, Louise, if you think you know it, just buzz in. Once you've buzzed in for that particular movie, you can't have another guess, okay? So,
Yeah.
here we go. This is the first film. A group of seemingly unrelated people navigate life.
Belle,
in the-
Love Actually.
She's done it. Oh,
very
She's
good.
got the first point
And
there, Louise.
actually, if you go in the back end, they all do have a connection to each other.
That's why I said seemingly.
Yeah.
Are you going in the back end?
There is.
There is one scene that they do, yeah. Okay, here we go. Next movie. A lone guy on Christmas, armed only with his wit.
Oh,
Has
but
to
Lou,
Yes,
Yep,
Lou?
go.
Home Alone.
Wrong.
Oh.
Do I get a free shot now?
Has to fend off bad guys. You do, Belle. He has to get really creative and lay out traps to stop them. Bruce Willis delivers an unforgettable performance in this
That's
action-packed
mean, Liam.
holiday thriller.
It's Die Hard.
It is, Belle. Well done. That is a point.
mean. You led Louise.
Louise, it is. It's literally set on Christmas. It
You
happened at
also
Christmas
led
party.
Louise down the garden path.
Hey,
That's
hey,
me.
you buzz in when you want it. If you want more information, you got to hang out.
All right, this means that, Louise, you need to get the next 3 in a row. Belle, if you get one more, you get the win.
Okay, here we go. Third film. A lone guy on Christmas, armed only with his wit, has to fend. What is it?
Home Alone.
It is! Very good! All right, Lou's back in it. Here we go. All right, fourth film. A lone guy on Christmas, armed only with his. Yes?
Is it Home Alone 2?
It's not. Oh! It's not, and you went in a little early. I liked the moxie, Louise, but this next bit might have given it away. So Belle's got a free hit here. Only armed with his unrelenting holiday spirit and childlike innocence, has to restore the world's Christmas cheer. Will Ferrell delivers laughs in a festive...
Elf.
She's done it. That's 3. I'm sorry, Louise. I'm sorry. Home Alone 2 is actually quite smart. I see what you're doing.
That was mean,
But
though.
no, hey, it's a game. That's how you.
No,
It was
that's
just tricky this
mean.
time.
That's mean. Louise, I want to give you a prize anyway for playing because
Oh, thank you so much.
I don't know if you have authority to do that, Belle.
I absolutely do.
Belle, it's my segment, and what I say goes.
I'm going to give you tickets
Fair
to the
play to you,
movies.
though, Belle. Well done.
Oh, no, you're all good. I'm going to give you a double pass to Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim, only in cinemas tomorrow.
And Louise, I'll be having a word with the producers and making sure that doesn't get to. No, I'm kidding.
That bit was Baby Gronk approved.
We want to know on 13-24-10, do you or did you have a job that you can't talk about? Like, do you have a secret job? Because there's a guy who used to work at ASIO who's in a bit of hot water. He went on Four Corners and did a report. Wasn't supposed to, I don't think. And he got his house raided.
I think
And
the
raided his house.
First rule of ASIO is you don't do TV shows about being on
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's one thing that you guys love talking about. It's ASIO.
Oh, I honestly love talking about ASIO.
Every week something comes up and you guys are like, oh, I just want to talk to someone who works at ASIO.
Well, there was this. I remember we had a caller one time, and his uncle died in a car crash overseas. But then there was all these people that he didn't recognize at the funeral in black glasses, like almost like they were Secret Service.
Yeah.
And he thinks that his uncle was in ASIO.
But they don't tell you.
Yeah, they don't tell you. They're like, sorry. And then he had like some sort of like note from the Prime Minister or something, being like, sorry for your loss.
The other thing that I love...
Crazy. I mean, that
See,
call was like 8 years ago. I
this
still
is
think
what
about
I'm-
it like every day.
That's exactly what I mean. Listen to you guys.
The other thing I love about ASIO is everyone always talks about the CIA,
Yeah.
maybe MI7. Is that the... is that the British-
MI5 and MI6.
Yeah, the people talk about those
Maybe
ones.
MI7 is so serious and so thick. Maybe even for uttering the words, we could be killed. That's like the third. There's Homeland Security, there's the international spy stuff, and then there's the secret one.
But people don't really talk about ASIO, like the Australian one, you know?
You guys do every week.
We do.
It's
We
like, I
do.
think it taps into your like little boy spy Mission Impossible kind of fantasy
yeah.
world. It's very cute.
Sarah joins us in Brizzy. Why can't you talk about your job, Sarah?
Well, I'm a researcher and specialising in cancer research. So a lot of the things that we study are secret because we can't disclose anything about them until they're published, so people might steal our research if we mention it outside of our work.
I see. So it's
we
all
have
lock
to get
and key.
patents for a lot of our stuff too, so it means that
But Sarah,
we can't go sharing it.
Sarah, if you discover a cure for cancer, you'll tell us, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, great. It sounds like you're not going to.
That sounds like a no.
Yeah, that's for someone who seriously does that as a job. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
This is where the conspiracy start.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd be really like firm. Yes, of course. That's what we're doing here. Okay, that's a bit concerning. Anyway, 13, 24, 10. Do you have a job, or did you have a job that you can't talk about? Now, it doesn't have to be ASIO. Obviously, 10,000 aura points if it is.
Yes.
And you didn't. I mean, obviously, you won't be able to say, but you maybe just be able to like call on a satellite burner phone and just cough twice or something like that, and we'll get the message.
I also think if someone did work at ASIO and they wanted to call us and remain anonymous, they'd have a phone jammer.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe the reason we're not getting some calls is because ASIO have
blocked
They've
it.
heard this. They've heard it like through one of their wires, and then they've scrambled. They've put jammers, so then no one can call up.
Okay, well, we do have one call.
Must have got through the jammers.
Linda, good evening. Now, this is your friend's daughter has a job she can't talk about.
No, it took 2 years for her to get the job. It was a very stringent process. She works for the Department of Defence in Canberra, and that's all we know. And as part of her interview process, they had to do a background check on her immediate family and extended families, the aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody, to make sure that everybody was above board. Yeah, quite mysterious.
And it sounds to me like your daughter works for ASIO. Now, I know you can't say that, but it does feel like that. I mean, would we be doing background checks on people's second cousin if they were just doing some sort of temp job
Linda,
in Canberra?
Does she often wear black sunglasses?
We don't see her.
Have you ever just needed to write something down? You're like, I'll just grab a pen from your bag, and then you went to click it once, and then you're about to click it twice, and she went, no. Has that ever happened?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever been having a conversation with her and there's a bright light and then you've just forgotten the conversation that you were having?
You're watching too many movies.
Thank you, Linda. I agree. They've taken this right into the
They
ASIO
would
hole.
have
Of course they have.
gadgets. They would. Man, I'd love to get onto her. I know you can't disclose that information.
And that's it.
Like that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.